Hi, I'm Karen. Welcome back to my channel. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you how I created this smoky bronzy eye look. It's a great video for beginners. I tried to make it as detailed as possible to really break down the steps and why I do what I do, and of course the type of brushes that I'm using in between. And I also throw in a couple of extra tips in there as well. If you want to learn how to recreate this look, just make sure to keep watching. Alright, so before doing your eyeshadow, I always recommend go ahead and prime your skin and get that out of the way, so by the time you're done with everything, you don't have to come back and prime your skin, especially your lips. Personally, I like to do my eyebrows first and get everything else to fool along with the shape versus doing my eyes first and then trying to shape it to match. Alright, so first thing you want to do is start out with a good primer. In the past, I've used the Wet n Wild primer. It's the Fergie one. Yeah, it's all, you can tell I use it. And then the NYX eyeshadow skin base or base skin. And it also comes in a white as well. When I say I love this, this might be an understatement. But whatever Milani did, they did it correctly. This is the Milani Shadow Eyes. I love these pencils. They are great for after I put on my transition color. I go ahead and put this on, or you can put it on before, but you can't get it up here, so you need a different base. That's another reason why I use more than one. Because after doing a transition color, I really want the other colors to stick on. So you can use your fingers or you can use a brush, whatever you prefer. Anyway, this is a concealer brush from Eco Brushes, and I'm just using that to apply, because sometimes I'm like sticking my nails in there. Nobody really be having time for that. Anyway, so apply it all over and apply it. Don't apply a thick goop, but even if you apply a thick goop, it's okay because you still want to go back over it with your hand. And the reason you want to go back over it with your hand is because you want to smooth out the layer, especially for these creams. Now for the more creamy lotion texture one, yeah, once you rub it on, it's going to go on smooth. But for these, you do need to pat them in. Otherwise, when you're applying your eyeshadow, certain amounts of it is going to get trapped on certain pieces that are, you know, sticking out more. And of course, if it's too creamy and gooey, it's going to also be another issue. So you definitely want to make sure that you blend this after you put this on to ensure a smooth canvas to work with. And it's up to you how high up you want to go. I typically like to make sure I get it all over the lid, but you have to remember you also have concealer up in this area too. So I'm not going to go up too near the brows, but just, you know, close enough, and definitely all up in here, because we will also be applying eyeshadow on the inside of our eyes. Now I'm not going to bother to do the bottom of the eye quite yet, because we're going to put foundation on later, so it will have something to adhere to. And that's the thing you need to remember with eyeshadows, is you want it to have something to cling to, and when it has something to cling to, it's gonna show up even better. So that's the point in doing the pencils and the primer and all that great stuff. Okay, the idea of the transitional shades before you actually put your full, you know, actual primary lid color on is you want to create a gradient effect. You want it to be lighter, then it's going to start getting just a little bit deeper. And then it's really in this area, in the crease area, if you lean your head back, you can see my actual crease right here. That's where you want to apply the deeper tones, but the deeper tones really need to be like from the outside of your pupil, extending out this way. It doesn't really need to come all the way in. Maybe a faded version of it, but not a dark version coming all the way here, unless you're doing a different type of look, which there are looks where you can place the dark shadow here, and then add the highlight of the event right there in the middle. But that's not the look that we're doing today. There are several different types of looks. Today we're just going to focus on the smoky eye, because I think every woman loves a smoky eye. It's just a matter of not making it go all the way up here. Nobody has time for that. I don't want you to look like that either. Alright? And I'm going to be using this blush brush from e.l.f. I'm going to be using this shade here. It's from the Baked Sand collection from Physicians Formula. I usually like to recommend, if you're going to do a highlight color up here, a lighter shade, I'm not a fan of the sparklies right up here. But if you're gonna do a lighter shade, always go for an eyeshadow that resembles the color on the inside of your wrist. That'll give you a nice highlight look where it will bring your brow bone out, but it won't be like a sparkly color. And with doing this, you're setting your base now, and when you get ready to do the other colors, it's going to be easy for the other eyeshadows to blend in. All right. Now, another issue that a lot of women may not realize is that when you're doing eyeshadow, and I'm not trying to promote high-end products only, but I'm just going to keep it real with you real quick. When you're first learning how to do eyeshadow and blend and stuff like that, I think it's a steeper learning curve when you're using products that are not very pigmented, that you have to do a lot of work with. It's one thing if you're experienced and you know the workarounds, but if you're not experienced, it's going to make you lose confidence in wanting to continue to do makeup. So I would definitely recommend that. You know, if you can find great quality products, like you have Coastal Scents, the individual eyeshadows, those things are super pigmented. NYX. Oh, love me some NYX. Super pigmented. Milani, that's another one. Physicians Formula, awesome. So I would consider buying eyeshadows like those. I wouldn't consider using Profusions. I know there's some of you out there that love it. Maybe you figured out how to work with it, but I'm talking about for those people who are like, you're new to this, you know what I mean? And you haven't gotten a grasp over it yet. Definitely that's not the route to go. Okay, so I'm going to move on to this brush here from Amazon, and this eyeshadow for NYX. It is Dance the Tides. I usually like to tap it on. I don't like to blend it in because I feel like it makes it patchy. I like to get the eyeshadow on first with a gentle tap. I'm not stabbing my eye. Use light pressure here and get it in the outer corner. And the outer corner is going to be this shape over here. So all of this from outside of my pupil here is the outer corner, okay? So let's just dab. We'll start in there. And you can use a smaller brush too. If you have a pencil brush, this is also great for getting in these areas. But for right now, with just a fluffy brush like this would be fine. And just tap it on. And then after you tap it in, then we can start blending it out. And it's cool to get it in where it's a little bit over your crease line and a little bit below it, okay? So it's like have the crease line right in between this product. All right, so I'm just dab just a little bit and then blend. The goal is I want to get off majority of the eyeshadow product in this corner. I don't want to get it all the way here. Then I really have to work on blending it. I'd rather start from here and then add on as I go. Add on some more product onto the brush and dab it on again. And then you see it's intensified the look. And now I'm gonna gently brushing this over my crease. And make sure you lean back. So if you don't know where your crease is, just lean back and you should be able to see this round shape popping out here. And that's where you want to follow. You don't want to try to follow it when you have your eyes like this and this, you know, you have your folds in your eyes, especially like here. This is a good example. I have my fold in my eye. It's going to be really difficult to blend that out and make it look smooth because of that fold. So definitely lean your head back and tap, tap, tap to get off most of the product off the brush in that corner. And then blend it. You can start blending it out gently. Don't rub hard. Don't drag it across your eye. And you can also tap, tap, tap too if you want to right here. Take some from there and brush it on the back of your hand to get off any, to get off some of the product. So it's not too strong, because the goal is I just want to contour right over here and make it to where this is deeper. So this looks like it's going in. This part looks like it's coming out. This part looks like it's going in. And then my eyelids look like they're coming out. So it's kind of basically we're just contouring. So once again, dab it on there, rub it on the back of your hand. All right, so I love contouring right there in the in this part. Plus that once you contour in here, then it's a great starter for you working your way on down your nose. But anyway, another thing. You see that? That needs to be blended out. So I'm going to use a different brush. We're going to go back to the same brush we used before. And I'm just going to use this point here. There's no additional products on here. And I'm just going to focus on the edge of this only. and blend it out. And then if at any point you feel like it doesn't look blended enough, yes, you can take a lighter color and blend it in. This is a especially good tip if you feel like you went up too high with a dark shadow, you know what I mean? That you can bring it back down with a lighter eyeshadow like the one we used initially. A smaller brush, and I'm going to be using this eyeshadow by Coastal Scents. It's called Oktoberfest. And just so you see the difference between these two brushes, all right? It's a nice little difference there because I really want to get in this area here. Now, anyway, you should also be able to use a pencil brush for this as well. And here's what it looks like. And that'll help you kind of achieve the same thing. I'm going to tap it in there. And same idea, just tap, tap, tap to deposit most of the product. And this time we're going to be focusing more on getting it right in the crease, not in between. All right. And so like I said, try to get off most of the product on here first. If you follow the shape of your eye, it's going to continue to go up here. So just follow it. You can't help it but to keep going up. And this is where you need to follow this color with so you can continue to create your eye shape. All right, so I'm just going to dab it on because I really want the color to be concentrated in that area. And then when you get over here, then you can start blending it. But you don't want to start blending it immediately because you definitely want to get that color off the brush. Now I'm going to rub this brush off on the back of my hand so I make sure I take off any extra residue. And then I'm going to start blending this in because I do not want the edges to have a harsh line. And keep in mind, I'm just focusing on blending the edge only. Just working that back and forth in the crease. I'm rubbing the back of my hand again. Because I think that's usually probably the biggest mistake that people make, and I made it too, which is getting too much product on the brush and passing, and the colors that's supposed to be dark over here, you're getting them all the way over here. Make sure we get this one to match. And like I said, rub back and forth gently. And I'm gonna switch brushes because I want to fade out these edges real quick. And I'm gonna go back to that first color I used. Tap off just a little bit and try to get it just where the blended edges are, and that's it. Lightly brush it over. I'm not rubbing this hard in, and I'm only focusing on that edge where we just created the transition. I just want to smooth it out. All right. Now you can either rub this directly on, but for beginners, I probably would say don't do that. Anyway, I would say take this product and because it's so creamy, take it and rub it off on the back of your hand. You can even, make sure you get some chunks off. You can even just get like a little butter knife or something like that to like chop off that top, mash it down, you know. And I'm gonna clean off this brush here that we used initially to apply the first primer. And I'm gonna use that to apply this. This has a nice little tapered look, so it's pretty cool for like getting in certain areas. And make sure when you're putting this, especially doing dark smoky looks, make sure you get this color and eyeshadow as well. Eyeshadow and eyeliner, actually, make sure you always get them close to your lash line. Otherwise, you're gonna have skin popping through and it's not gonna be a good look. Especially if you're light like me. All right, so all I'm doing is just following the shape of my eyelid. I'm not concerned about getting this in my crease. We'll let the eyeshadow do all that wonderful stuff. All right, so back to this color by Oktoberfest. I'm gonna tap it a little bit in there. And now I'm gonna focus on blending out the edge of this. The last thing you want it to do is to look patchy, where you can see that rough edge. You do not want that. I'm gonna rub that over. Same thing for this one. Apply eyeshadow rub. I just find it easier than trying to blend it out and it still looks patchy versus actually using the eyeshadow to blend out that tip first. And I'm just gonna go back to that first blending brush that I was using just to blend this and make the smoky color come up some, but not applying any additional eyeshadow on it. For this, I'm going to be using this color from Wet n Wild, the Vanity palette. Don't want this look, you can always do a matte eyeshadow. So for the base, you could use a black base if you want, but honestly, what I've come to learn is any dark base will accomplish this. If it's a bright base, it's going to make it more bright and vibrant. If it's a dark base, it's going to make it look more deep and sultry. So it all depends on what you're going for. I bought from CVS. This one is an e.l.f. brush. Yeah, it's from one of the $1 lines. It's the eyeshadow brush. Anyway, this one is from Sonia Kashuk. It kind of has that firm feel as well. And it's a double-ended one. I love her brushes. This is my very first makeup brush that I purchased back in 2010. Yeah, you see that? Sonia Kashuk. Target. Don't complain about the prices at Target. It's worth it, all right? And whenever applying eyeshadow, think about the area that you're applying. Is it big enough to handle this? Yes. Is the area that I need to concentrate the color in, is the brush I'm using small enough? Yes, you can use this. For out here, you can use this for down. Actually, this will probably be better for applying color down here or in your inner corner of your eye. So take that into consideration when you're choosing the brushes to apply eyeshadow. Say for example, if you're applying the color in here, you want to use a fluffy brush. All of this here needs to be blended out. The fluffier it is, the more it's going to give you that smoked out effect. The more you want the color concentrated, like on the lid here, then you need to be using a more firmer brush, like something like this. Even the one we was using initially to apply the base color. And of course this one as well. It may be flat, but it's nice and firm and it will pack that color on. So you need to just think about, so if you're blending it out to make it faded, it needs to be fluffy. If you're putting a concentration of color, it needs to be firm. And you're just gonna pat. So all I'm doing is I'm just following the shape of my eye where you put the brown. So it's pretty much the whole lid underneath the crease. And I'm patting this color on. You do not want to go over the crease with this color. That's when people start having this blown out look and it just looks crazy. The whole entire point of having that blown out, the blended crease area is to use a matte tone to do that. I prefer to use a matte tone eyeshadow, and then you can keep all the shimmery type eyeshadows to your lid area. This smaller fluffy brush, and I'm just going to use it to blend out the edges. And like I said, lean your head back when you're doing this so you can see where your crease is. And I just rub this brush off on the back of my hand before doing this right here. Alright, so for those of you that are terrible at eyeliner, it's pretty simple. I would say follow this line up. So if you use the pencil and just follow it, it goes right where there. And then just draw a little line just so you can know, hey, okay, I want this to go up there and stop right there. Alright, so as a tip for being a beginner and doing eyeliner, I would probably say it's easier to use like either this liquid or this pen. It probably is easier to use the pen, but just especially like in this area here, I would definitely use a pen. And yes, you can use two, why not? These things are like almost $1 each or something like that. Why not? This is a great time for you to clean up. See, that's what I love about not putting my foundation off first. It's a perfect time for you to clean up. See that little mess right there? Clean Q-tip. Let's pull just a little bit. Alright, so if you want to take it a step further, you can use any concealer you want. And I'm going to use that along with an angled brush. And I'm going to rub some of this off. Make sure, don't make the accident of rubbing too much on the brush. Rub a little bit on, rub off the excess, and gently clean up. There you go. Alright? And then you can dab it out with your finger. Don't get too close. So let's move on to the rest of this look. And let me put on my foundation and everything. And then I'm going to wrap up the bottom of this and we're done. Alright. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to move on to this NYC. So now it looks all nice and choppy, no worries. Remember how we blended out the edge of the pencil that we use for Milani shadow eyes? That's the same thing we're gonna do right down there. And for this one, you use something like this. I like how it's angled like that. You can use this part of the brush to apply the eyeshadow. Another one I actually love is this one. It's because it's flat. You see that? It's nice and flat on the tip right there. So it's great for also just putting the color right there. Small would be like this one I was showing you guys earlier from the double-headed one. And I'm going to go back to that Oktoberfest color and let's buff that in and get this to blend out. I'm gonna move on back to that NYX shade, Dance the Tides. All right, and just brush a little bit of this off or tap it off and just blend it at the bottom part because we're gonna be pretty much doing a faded effect. And you don't wanna bring this color down too low because then you're gonna drag your eyes down. This one is also from Wet n Wild from the Vanity palette. And it's just a nice nude shade. And so if you feel like your edges are too blotchy or whatever, just gently take it and fade out the bottom. A little bit of this product here is from Butter London. You can use any little brush, a lip brush, whatever you prefer, to get in this area because I don't want to apply too much by accident. There you go, it's perfect. It's not a gold color, it's just a nice, simple, subtle little pop. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. I like to do that before I put on my mascara. Alright, so I just want to thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, definitely make sure to like this video and also to subscribe if you'd like to receive video updates via email. And of course, don't forget to comment in the box below. Alright, well, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.